It's the Dr. D Show.
Welcome to the Dr. D Show. It's another episode. Thank you all for tuning in. The host of the most, Dr. D, and the co-host,
EK.
Hi, how y'all doing today? It's going to be a good one, guys. We have another guest in the house. I think this one is going to shake a lot of heads and get people talking.
Get people thinking.
I'm excited for this one. We have a special guest in the house, Rom Wills. Rom Wills, he's got a lot of material out on social media, on YouTube. Talks about a lot about the male role and the male gender. He's going to be here on the show having a banter with us about an interesting topic for me personally. But without further ado, I just want to go ahead and introduce Rom. Rom, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's an honor to be on this show and to be with you young men. And I'm just ready to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
So Rom, I know we know a little bit about you. We've done our research, but for our listeners out there that don't know too much about what it is that you're involved in, is it okay if you just give us a quick rundown? I know you got a lot of material, a few YouTube pages out there that I follow, the books, great material. But if you don't mind just giving us a quick rundown of what it is and what you're involved in and how you're essentially helping the male role and the male gender to progress in life.
Well, my main thing is I'm a writer. Now, I have several books out, both fiction and nonfiction. And I'm known primarily for my nonfiction books, which are about self-development for men. Because, the main title is called Nice Guys and Players, subtitled Becoming the Man Women Want, and then I have books based that follow that. But that title isn't just about game, but it was just a more catchy title because the original title was Self-Development of Men. And that's the main thing. That's the main thing about a man becoming the best, or their life is more peaceful. They have a level of success. They're doing something. That's what makes me excited, because that's the main thing we need out here, because we have a lot of problems, people talking about relationships. Well, I'm solution oriented. I feel like if we develop more strong men, things would change. Definitely. On so many levels. Because a man, people complain about women this and women that, but when a man is strong, then he makes the women that he encounters, they have to come at him a certain way. They have to behave. Now, this ain't talking about him being a player and everything, even though I talk about that, but I tell you, that's more about the player skills, just interacting with women. But just more giving men options. Because most men ain't trying to be players. Most men are trying to find a quality woman and then move on and do the things he is called to do. His mission, you can call his mission, his purpose, whatever. That's what he wants to do, have a family, being the head of the family. So that's my main thing. If a man develops his best self, I'm happy. And that's what my mission is, to help a man develop his best self, which in turn affects the community, affects the world. So that's me.
Awesome.
That's interesting.
That's beautiful, Ron, and I like the fact that you've talked about this, how to develop the man and helping the man to be his best self and carry out his role. Ike and I were having a conversation the other day, and we were talking about how we think that the male role is essentially changed over time. So the way a man has been viewed in the past is no longer the same way anymore. And I guess we just wanted to get your take on it. So, for example, growing up for me, being African, as a man, I looked at my dad as he's the firm one. He's the breadwinner, he's the head of the home. He brings in the paycheck. He's the disciplinarian of the home, and that's kind of the light I looked at him, the way I viewed him. But today I find that a lot of men are either not even there, or when they are there, they're playing more of a homemaker role. So they're more of the nurturing kind and less of the firm and stern type of person. So what's your take on that? Like, do you think that the male role is changing or has changed over time?
Okay, if some curse words come out, I'm just flowing with it.
That's cool.
Look, yes it has. Yes it has, and it's some bull. It's some straight bull, because what you had is, different forces in society that really attacks masculinity. You know, everything from people with some real power who don't want any competition to women who think that they want a certain amount of power. And then you have a situation where you have a critical mass of women who a mentor of mine would call Amazon women. And this don't mean like they just some tall women. These are women with masculine energy. In fact, they can look very feminine on the outside, but they have masculine energy. And then, they want to run things. So what do? If they raising some sons, they don't encourage the sons to develop his more masculine side, especially if they single mothers. No, they encourage the more softer side because the two energies can't coexist. And indeed, if a man does like stand up, be firm, some stupid people out here will call it toxic masculinity.
Right.
Though
that's
I
correct.
already say at 3 a.m. when somebody breaking into your house, you want that man to be firm. You want him to be tough. Or when things are bad out here, the same women who's dealing with some soft type of man or not a man at all, they're like, oh, they want that man to step up. It's a crazy thing where they want all the freedom. Too many women want all their freedom until shit hits the fan, and then they want the man to stand up.
That's
right.
right.
It's tough. Now, fortunately, there are some women out there who still want that firm man, that strong man, but their voices are being drowned out by Amazon women and the men the shadow men, they are shadow of a true men who support. Now, that's where the issues are. Yes, and it's a major thing because for the truly strong men out there, so much is put on our backs. It's amazing we can still stand. And indeed, sometimes stuff will be put on the strong man's back to the point that when he does fall, because he's still human, they say, oh, he was weak anyway. Well, damn, you put a world on his shoulders. What are you supposed to do? And then even then, he'll be down for a second, but because he's strong, he'll get back up. And it's a weird thing because even some of those so-called independent women on the low, they'll deal with a strong man just for sex or something like that. Or there's a strong man that they will submit to, just submit to him. But it's not enough for these men because it's not encouraged.
Right.
That's the thing. It's not encouraged by a lot of forces. But one of my things is to get the man to stand up. Like I said, I talk about, the player skills and all of that and, turning on women sexually. But that's really to help the solid men have the player skills because unfortunately some men who have those skills on some dark side, they knuckleheads or something.
Right.
They bad, they're not good. But I want the solid men, and when I say solid men out here who want to be the head of the household. Who going to be the alphas of their household, the men who going to defend their household, who going to properly protect. Also the men who can take care of that woman in the bedroom. That's always been my thing. But see, that's the bedroom, that's 25% of it. Everything else, as men, we're expected to be protected. And we have children, we're going to protect them. And if the woman is supportive, we're going to protect her too. And then we want to hunt anyway, go out, make our money, not even to impress the woman, but we want some place to stay, and be the ego. We're going to look ahead. We don't get emotion. We got emotion, but when it comes time to solve a problem, men are supposed to be able to do it in a logical, reasonable way. We're supposed to sit down and say, okay, let's take the emotion out. We're going to solve this problem. And it's a fight out here. It's a fight. That's why I say when men come back and tell me what they're doing, I want to see that more than anything else. Don't tell me you slept with 20 women. You got a shadow man who can sleep with 20 women. Tell me that, you found that one quality woman, but then tell me about the other stuff you did. Tell me about your business going someplace. Tell me about all of that. So yes, there's a definite problem out here. And young men like yourself, I can see y'all working on the right side of things to put order here, because that's what men are supposed to bring on this planet, order.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, I get fired up. You threw that question.
Oh, no worries. Just a random question for you on this one.
Yes.
Based off of what you discuss in whatever media, have you had any backlash from women, especially in regards to?
Funny?
Yeah.
Okay, no, finish your question. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No. It's just interesting. Is it, do you get backlash from women, or do you get backlash from both men and women? How is it?
Honestly, I get more backlash from men who don't really see the big picture of what I'm doing.
Really?
Oh,
No way.
The women, there's a lot of women, even some Amazon women, deep down, they want the men to step up. Because a part of their issue is enough men aren't stepping up. And a lot of women are doing some stuff because they feel like they have to. But
Right.
a whole lot of women, like I've seen several situations over the decades where you get some woman, she seems strong and independent. She run into that one guy who ain't putting up with it and say, make me a ham sandwich. And they'll do it.
Right.
Like the women are told, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I've had some women, like a very few women say something, but you know, it'd be the men be trying to come after me personally and all of that. I don't see the big picture.
Right.
The women, if they have an issue, they either don't say anything, don't try to give me any, you know, dap or anything, which is cool, or the main thing is they are supportive, and they'll tell me that, and they'll say, "Look, I want to be a woman." They want to sit back. They tired of it because women really ain't built to handle stress the same way a man does.
Right.
They're not built for it. So it's like the women, they don't. I mean, I've done stuff trying to like fire up the women. They're like, we agree. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay. So that's why
I guess it
even
goes
on my channel, some guys say you don't really like going on the women. I'm like, no, it's up to men to stand up and lead.
Right.
The women got it, they're gonna follow along.
That's
Or
right.
if they either follow along or they get left behind. That's the thing. We gotta be cold-blooded about it. See, one of the problems is too many men want some of these knucklehead women, these Amazon women to change up. Maybe because they fine or something, got a nice body. I'm like, no. Focus on the quality women who want you to be the man. They want to support you. They want to submit to your mission. There's plenty of women out there like that. Now, are they looking like IG models or something like that? Not necessarily,
Probably
but
not,
those IG models are fake anyway. You want a real woman who's an asset to you and not a liability.
Very true. Very true. I like that. Smart words. You want a woman that's an asset to you, not a liability. I think that one's going in my books for sure.
Oh, jeez.
Rom, I was gonna ask you a question regarding the family. So we were talking the other day too. We're saying the role of a man in the family has changed in regards to a man. I find personally, just my opinion, that when a man is bringing in less coin, he somehow takes more of a submissive role versus a dominant role. I find that the woman, especially if she's making more money, tends to start to, I guess, become more Amazonian, for better lack of words, in that relationship. And that kind of like, you know, if you're a man, how do you deal with that kind of situation? Do you sit back and take a submissive role, you know, or how do you reassert your dominance even though you're bringing in less coin?
Well, you know what? Money is important. And it's important that a man works. That's a part of it. That's one of the pillars because we don't hunt in the wild anymore. So that's an issue to deal with. But that's only 25. That's only 1/4 of what a man is supposed to do anyway. Okay, she might be making more money, but he could still be in a dominant position. Like I used former President Bill Clinton. For years before he became president, Hillary was making more money. But yeah, he ascended to a powerful position. And there might be situations where, for whatever reason, a woman is making more money. Okay, fine. All right. But if y'all in a marriage or something, that money doesn't mean she dominates because a man is still supposed to be in a position where he's leading. Okay, the money. Okay, fine. But y'all putting it towards the same business. He still has to be the one who leads. And when I say lead, he can see the path ahead. He still got to do that no matter what. 3 o'clock in the morning, there's a noise downstairs. She still got to be the one to take care of that thing.
Right.
And she still want a man to make love to her. And the money thing could be temporary. Yeah, she making more money now, but what happens if she lose that job? What happens if what if the situation is, yeah, she making more money, but he building a business and then all of a sudden the roles switch in 5 years. Like a man has got to be a man no matter what. I don't care how much money she makes, you know, because they ain't supposed, like some women out here, they say, you know, what's yours is mine and what's mine is mine. It's like, oh, hold up, that can work the other way. If y'all together, that money is a tool. And a man shouldn't be defined by that tool. Now, the traits that he used to get that tool, okay, because he's responsible, he's hardworking, he's driven. The man should be judged by that. And plus, too, it depends on what's going on. He might be in a position where, say, he's a teacher at a school. He's molding the minds of several young men and young women, and he's doing some great things. You know, she might be in some corporate position where she don't deal with anybody, really. You know, right. She's just a cog in a machine. They can get rid of her like in one day. So he's making a greater impact. So it's like, yeah, the money's good, but okay, what's he doing? What is he doing? That's the thing. You know, he can still be that protector no matter what. He still can be that leader who sees ahead. You know, he can still do all that. Still make love to her, all that stuff. He can still be the leader no matter what. And he should not, because she making more money, like fall for it. He shouldn't like say, I'm gonna be subservient to you, because like I said, the money thing is temporary.
Right.
The money thing is temporary, and if they're a couple, it should be going in the same thing, you know, because you know it should be going in the same pot, because it's going. What's it going to? The house, the food. They both eating the food, both sleeping in the house, both paying for the cost.
Right.
And like I said, that can change. He got to be a man no matter what. I've dealt with plenty of women who made more money than me in my life. And I still was like, no, we're going to do this, and stuff. I met one time. She's like, well, I'm making this much money. I'm making all this. Okay, that's cool. I make my money too. I don't need yours. So it's like, you know, all that. You know, I wasn't married to her, of course. And like, there was one woman, but she was totally submissive, because I said, I don't give a shit about your money. I don't need it.
Right.
And that's how I looked at her too, you know. Right. And I had a couple. I had some story. I thought that was normal, because one of the things when I was working, because I worked for the government, I was more about service. Now I'm more about like making money business, but at first I was more about the service and what I was doing there.
Right.
Question is, well, hold up. Are you nurturing? Are you female, intuition, all of that? Are you sexy?
Right.
What good is that money? It's like, I want to know what's up. Can you be a good mother to children?
Right.
You know, you got my back when I'm working on something. Are you supporting my mission? I don't care how much money you got. Shit. Maybe if you're using that money to support my mission. On that, a man got to still be a man no matter what. Don't worry about her money. Because you got plenty of women out here making money, man. Owning businesses. Indeed, I've read about some. There was a woman, I think she was in Nigeria, millionaire or billionaire. She still cooked for her husband. Wow. So man, don't let that stop. Now, of course, unfortunately, we do got those women try to use that. But I'm gonna tell you something now. Those women, if they don't use that money, they're gonna use something else. You got a certain set of women, Amazon type women, who got control issues. They got control issues anyway.
That's what I mean.
They don't even need money. They could be poor. They still got some control issues. In fact, you got like sex workers who got control issues, because some women smart. They know they can use sex to control a man.
Right.
So you're going to deal with that anyway. My thing is, you know what? As a man, as soon as she starts trying to control you, you need to check her right there. You say, no, baby, I'm running this. You don't control me.
So how do you recognize when that is happening to you as a man?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
Sorry, Rob. I'm sorry to interrupt you. How do you recognize that as a man then? Because I guess not every man is like, you know, smart enough to like see it. If it's like, it's obviously, if she's trying to control you, you either using money or sex. How do you recognize that? Are there certain like things you should look out for that would like red flags? Yeah, look for her always trying to get her way. Like anything. It could be small. Like you want to go to a restaurant, you taking her out, and you the one taking her out. You ask her out, but she's like, oh no, let's go here. Or it could be something little. Oh no, you should wear that little thing. It'll start small. Right.
It'll all start small, and then she'll test it. She'll do little things. You know, the sex thing. It could be okay. She'll give you sex when she wants to. You know, there's a lot of guys like that. Or the money thing. That's blatant. Where she try to be blatant and say, no, I'm gonna take care of this. I'm gonna take care of that. You know, I'm gonna buy you stuff. You know, like a guy should be always worried if the woman is buying him too much. Yeah, that's good. I ain't gonna lie. Right? Been on some low key gigolo stuff. And when I say that, not professional, women will buy me stuff, but then I start peeping. Okay, they want something. As soon as it's like, oh man, it's a nice shirt. No, I ain't gonna do what you want anyway. But thanks for the shirt. No, but look for anything. It could be because a lot of them will do it subtly. Because unfortunately, you get some men who want sex so badly, they'll put up with anything to get it.
Right.
And one of the things I actually talk about, as much as I tell men how to develop their sex appeal, one of the things that's not mentioned as much or people pick up on as much, I also talk about sexual discipline. That's why I say quality over quantity. And see, a man got to get to the point where he knows, no, I'm not dealing with that. You know, on my terms. Pimps know that. A pimp asleep in the same bed with a woman won't touch her. You know, they control their dicks.
Right.
And that's the key. See, I'm gonna tell you something now, and that's the most powerful thing. Once a man controls his dick, he trumps her card. Because like I said, that control over with the sex thing is a woman's main thing. They try with the money, but any man should be sovereign enough to have his own spot, own car, his own money. That way, even if she come with that, it's like, so what you got? I pay my own bills.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't need you. That's how you got to do it. See, the more a man has control over himself, the more the controlling women can't deal with it. But the supportive women, they right in line with it.
That's interesting.
A question for just a follow-up question. In regards to, say, in a family setting, where more and more we now see fathers out there hanging out with the kids more than the mothers. What would be your take on that one? Is it part of that gender role that's been changed, or it's an evolution of something that started way back? What's your take?
It depends. It depends because the mother, her natural role is to nurture the children, especially when they're young. Her natural role. And there's nothing wrong with a father dealing with the children or hanging out with them, depending on what he's bringing, though. If he's more the nurturer, that's a real problem. Because the children, they're going to have some issues growing up, boys and girls. Especially if they're young, he's the one taking them to all the parties and all of that. That's a real problem. Because then the boys and the girls are going to be confused about the gender roles. Now, when the father should really be hanging out with the children, of course he's hanging out with them, still his kids, but when he should be primary is when the children are in their teen years. But then it's not the party, going to the little tea things and all of that. He's telling them the game of life, basically how to navigate the world. See, men, by our nature, we go out in the world, the natural nature, things have changed up. We're the ones who go out in the world, we navigate. So we're giving them that game about how to navigate in life. So there's nothing wrong with the fathers dealing with being around the children then. But if it's it's a real problem when it's not the mother. Her natural role is to nurture that child from ages from birth to 14 or, teenage years. It's natural because the children need nurturing then. And they need a mother's nurturing. So a father, we can have that nurturing as a part of our personality and all of that, but it's not the same as a mother. It's a different thing. And see, when you get kids who see the gender roles reversed, that causes a problem. I've talked to a lot of women. People don't realize I get a lot of women who will pay for some type of consultation. A lot of women who saw the father being the weak one and the mother being a strong one, they have trouble relating to a real man. Because they'll run into a real man and get confused, so they don't know how. And then deep down, they don't like the weak man. So they totally jacked up. And then the boys, they don't know what's up. They think the father thinks that, what a boy thinks that the father is more the nurturing one. He thinks he's supposed to be the nurturing one, the weaker one. So he looks for that strong woman with that dominant personality, thinking this is normal. But then she treating him a certain way, disrespecting him, and it creates a vicious cycle. So one of the things is I would say, it's nothing wrong with the father playing with the kids and all of that, but then it's still supposed to be the main nurturer when they're young, the mother. And then when they get older, then the father takes in, and he's not nurturing. He's saying, no, okay, this is what you need to do, get a job. This, you tell the girls, okay, this is the man you need to deal with. It's more of a practical thing. But unfortunately, we don't live in a society that has that natural. Everything is twisted up, and then people can't figure out why.
Yeah. Right.
See, women are built to nurture. They got breasts. Women got breasts. They nurturing. They carry their child. They supposed to. They're more emotional. They can deal with what a child needs better. The father is more. He's the warrior. He goes out, so he's teaching them how to hunt. He's teaching the little girl when they get older how to effectively deal with a strong man. And see, that's what has to happen. That's how it's supposed to be. But what y'all were talking about, the roles being reversed, you see it out here now. Because I've seen it with a lot of young men. They'll say they didn't have their father there, particularly to show them how to deal with life. Indeed, that's why a lot of young men gravitate towards me. They see me as a father figure. I know some people call me a dating coach or something, but then a lot of people, they see me as just, that elder who's teaching them what they need to know about life, period. Yeah, and it's a problem. It really is. It really is. And like I said, we got all these forces in society say, oh yeah, the women can do this. It's like, and I've told women, okay, when the children are little, you need to be there for them. Like, okay, right now I'm not married, but I was married.
Right.
I was married. When my sons were young, their mother was a stay-at-home mother.
Right.
She didn't work. But she brought up something. Now, when they got older, became teenagers, I started taking a more even active role. I mean, I was there with the children. Even now, with co-parents now, and they spend more time with me than they do their mother, but then they learning little business stuff. They learning like the stuff they need to navigate in the world.
Right.
So that was cool. And that's one thing why me and my co-parent get along. Like the reason we're not together, sometimes stuff ain't meant to work past a certain point, and we just mature about it. But when it came to our sons, she did what she was supposed to. She wasn't going out working and doing all this. She was there for them every single moment. She was playing the mother role. She's still playing. She was nurturing for them. She took them to the little parties and all of that, But then when they got older, I'm showing them the man stuff and everything. I was doing that when I was young, but it wasn't no twisted thing where they just saw me sitting at home chilling and stuff while she was going out working, And I've seen that with quite a few families. Like you get some cultures, some places. If the woman works, she don't do it until the children are out of the house, and she just needs something to do, and that's how it should be, And then the father, he's still doing his thing, but they seeing how a man's supposed to go out here and make the money, be sovereign, be a warrior, move through the world with authority.
Right. So, Rom, how do you bridge the gap between being a co-parent? So as a man, how do you bridge that gap and still maintain your authority or assertiveness as a man without losing your identity in a co-parenting situation? How do you do that?
Well, that's easy because I stay who I am no matter what. A true co-parent is. Even with every single decision, I got the final word.
Right. So how does a man do that though?
Well, you know what? It really comes down to having a quality woman. Like I said, there was some stuff. Let's just say we had different levels of consciousness, and I'll leave it at that.
Right.
But she still recognized my role. She didn't fight my role. She didn't put me on child support or anything.
Right.
I got unlimited visitation, or really unlimited custody. Let me say it like that.
Right.
It's not like, just 3 days or something. I just had them over here today.
Right.
I just had them over here today. Most of the summer they were with me. So it's like, I can go. I got a key to the place.
Right.
So I can see it whenever I feel like it.
Right.
And they can see her when they feel like it. In fact, they probably spend more time with me anyway.
Right.
The thing is just recognizing in a co-parent situation, recognize, look, this ain't about our stuff. This is about them. And like I said, me and her get along great. I mean,
Right.
seriously. But like I said, when you talk about marriage, that's a different thing. You gotta, a man and woman gotta be on the same level of consciousness, and sometimes, yeah, you might have that child with them, but sometimes it might be like, okay, let's move on, but we can still be cool.
Right. So
So,
what should
but
a man be looking
you don't
for?
let it. See, the thing is, it comes down to the same dynamic. I mean, like hypothetically, if she was an Amazon woman, I'm saying it's hypothetical because I can't
Right.
stand being around a woman who exerts a little bit of control. I can't stand that. Then it would be constant fighting, but it's not that.
Right.
Now she got her own thing she's doing and everything, but when I say no, don't do that, she's still good with it because it's still, she knows it's about the sons. It ain't about her, whatever she wants. It's
Right.
about the sons.
That's right. That's the priority, right?
Yes, that's the way to do it. Like couples when they break up or something, it's about the sons then the children then. People gotta get, like, one thing I can't stand is when women use their children as playthings against the fathers. They should be punished because the children need fathers. Like, I don't like anybody trying to like say, oh, the mother's this and mother's that. No, men bring order. Men
Right.
bring order because it'll be total chaos if we didn't. That's why we got chaos out here now because everybody trying to reverse stuff and say, oh yeah, women can do this. No, you
Right.
can't. Let the men do their stuff. We let y'all do y'all stuff. Boom, we good.
It's funny that you say that because we had on a previous episode, we're talking about how women take advantage of men. And one of the things we had talked about was the custody, how women use the children.
Yeah.
I can't stand that.
It's funny
I
that you
can't
bring
stand
that up too. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's
because
like
I'm gonna tell you what. Like I said, with us, it's we get joint custody, and like I said, the sons they could spend the whole every day with me,
right,
or they could spend every day with her. Anytime I can just go see them. Anytime they can come see me. Basically, they got two residences.
right. Essentially, right.
They got two residences. Because like I said, me and her are cool, but sometimes there's some things that ain't working out quite as well. And
Right.
she got my back. Actually, she got my back. So it's not a big deal. I got her back. It's just two adults realizing, you know what, the marriage thing like that really ain't there. But we got two sons, so we doing this for them.
Right. That's the important thing, recognizing that. So as a man now, if you're looking at doing the marriage thing, what should you be looking for in a partner? Like I know that it's not an easy question, but what should you be looking for in a partner?
I would say this: the woman needs to be in submission to your mission. See, the man's main relationship is what he's supposed to do. Because see, women are funny. They so busy fighting to get you to follow their agenda that when you actually do it, they lose interest. Ain't that some stuff? They want you to do all this, so when you actually do it, it's like, nah, they not excited anymore. See, a man, he got to stick with his agenda. Can I deal with this person when I'm having some down days? Everybody's going to have a down day in business or just in a career or whatever.
Right.
You got to just remember that just term. Like, put it in your book. She got to be an asset and not a liability. Now, if she's draining you, and you feel like you ain't doing the stuff you need to be doing, don't even think about marriage.
Gotcha.
Don't even think about it. Because especially nowadays,
Wise words.
marriage is tough. So you gotta really think about it. Like, deal with that woman for a few years. Pay attention to every little thing. Even her family. She got a supportive family, or she got a family that, quite frankly, you don't want your children around them if you had children.
Right.
You gotta look at all of that. People gotta take the emotion out. Something, it is a business. I mean, you bring in money in. Like you were talking about the woman making more money. If it's a family, it's a marriage. Well, that's both y'all money.
Right.
So y'all putting that in and say, okay, I got a plan. Yeah, you making all that money. I got a plan.
Right.
All right, we're gonna save this money to get this house. We're gonna save this money to put our children through school. That's what the man does. We look ahead. We plan step by step. Women just see the final result, and that's cool. That's part of their job to see the final. They might just have a vision or something of a house on the hill. All right, then she let her husband know, say, yeah, I got this vision and everything. And she ain't telling him to get it in something because he still got the choice of whether he might be like, yeah, you got that vision, but I don't want a damn house on the hill. Because he's the one got to figure out how to get the house. And she can help, but our nature is to think step by step. Logic, we take all the emotion out and say, okay, we're going to have to make some cuts here. We can't be going out to this fancy restaurant like every week, maybe once a month. All right, this is how we got to build the savings up. We got to do all of that. And if she ain't down for that, don't even think about it, especially these days. Don't even think about it. And it's tough these days because you got women, they want to be independent and strong until shit hits the fan, and then they want you to step up. I'm like, okay, baby, hold up. You Miss Independent. You can't solve this problem? Nah.
Right.
I was best guys leave unless a man just wants some quick sex with that woman. Even then, you gotta be worried because you got some women, they slick about it. They want your seed.
Yep.
Best as possible, she'd even avoid that. But
so they can get that check. So you mentioned something earlier about marriage and the woman taking the man's name. And I thought about in that, and I was like, what about relationships where the man is taking on the woman's last name? What is your take on that? You ever heard anything like that before?
The expression on her face is just priceless.
I've heard that. I think, what's that actress's name? Zoe Saldana or something like that.
Right.
She was in like all these movies and everything, and she married this guy, and he took her last name.
Last name, yeah.
Hell no.
Does that take away? Does that take away from his masculinity?
The most they should do if she don't take his last name. Now she should, even if she got it hyphenated. I mean, that's the most.
Right.
But he keep his name no matter what. He got to keep his sovereignty no matter what. And really, if she don't want to take his last name, he need to really think about that. They discussing it. She's like, well, I'm keeping my name and everything. Unless she's some movie star or something and she making money off that name, she need to change it because you're talking in a family.
Right. Yeah.
This is a family. This is a family.
That's a red flag for me.
Household. Yeah, that's a red flag. But hell no, a man should never take a woman's last name.
So
that's like saying he might as well just say she the boss. That's
right.
Hell no. The man shouldn't even. The second she say that, well, you gotta take. Well, damn, you were fine too. Damn, the second. Okay. Well, you know what? Why don't we just break this off now?
Right.
Call it quits.
Let's call it a day.
Yeah, but seriously, because a man gotta be sovereign. Yeah,
Right.
see, here's the thing. Women will do that. They'll boss a man around, use him up, and then kick him to the curb, say he wasn't shit.
Right.
And I'm like, hold up. See, that's the thing. Men got to be standing up for something.
Right.
And like the woman should be taking, if they're talking about a family. Now, if she's famous, like I said, if she's famous, she a celebrity and stuff, she can still keep that name professionally, but even privately, she should take his last name.
Right.
You know, on official documents. Now, she, like I said, if she's a celebrity, if she's making money off that name. But 99.9% of the women aren't doing it.
Right.
In most of the world, the man is looked at as the man, or supposed to be. Yes, people fighting against it, but at the very least, a man shouldn't even think, that shouldn't even be a conversation. If a woman said that to me, be like,
It's like,
you
must have lost your mind.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. I'm gonna tell you something now. See, a big problem out here. Too many. You got a critical mass of men who putting women on so much on that pedestal and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, all they got is a smelly gash.
Right.
Because that's really why a man put her there. I'm like, hold up. Wait. All right, other than sex, what is she bringing to the table?
Right.
And that's what most men are doing. I ain't even talking about the support and all of that. See, you got too many women, they ain't even doing that much. They ain't even doing that much. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why am I putting, this ain't a God. She ain't God. Why am I,
Right.
I'm bigger than her, stronger than her. In most cases, making more money than her, and even the ones who making more money than me. I don't give a shit.
Right.
I'm like, you saw world peace? So like, what the hell? Guys got to stop doing that. Women need a man way more than we need them. I'm gonna just be real.
Right.
Just think about it. Think about it. We can go take care of ourselves. We can protect ourselves. We can think for ourselves.
What's your take now?
Is add. That's the most she can do. And some women don't even want to do that. Talking about, I don't have to bring anything to the table. I don't need you then.
They just expect you to do everything, right? They expect you to be the alpha and the all providing, the all knowing. Yeah, they just want to sit back and have a joyride.
Oh, man, that ain't happening. You gotta do something. Shit,
right?
Give a good blowjob or something.
And be good at it too.
At the very least, it better not be no fight because they want us to do all that stuff.
Right. It's great. It's funny because you said it's important that the man's role, like we will be more important in terms of what we're bringing to the table. And I thought about it in a corporate setting. I work in a corporate setting, but I'm starting to find that there's a lot more women in corporate roles and positions now. Like I've had a few jobs, and my last few jobs, all my bosses have been women. And it's kind of like, okay, so I understand that they want to be equality in the corporate system, but should we be having as much infiltration of women, especially in the corporate ladder, like we are right now? And like how good is that for the future of the economy?
That's gonna happen. Man, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
And if it can stick to just business, okay, fine. Because women, they spend money. They keep the economy going. We leave it up to us. We'll be smart about saving it. Right. And that's really what the issue is. But if you in that situation, you still got to maintain who you are as a man. That's all you can do, That's all you can do. Or if you're in that situation, one of the things I talk about is a man developing his own thing, even if he's making 6 figures. I talk about that in my book. He should have his side thing because he got total control over it. Right. And even in situations where you have the women being bossy and stuff, and doing their thing, you gotta check them sometimes. Like I remember I was working on this retail job. And me and this manager, we were in a shouting match. Everybody heard it because she just came in and went in on me. And I was like, who the fuck you think you talking to?
Right.
Like, I mean, it was vicious. I mean, people heard it, everything.
Right.
I almost got fired because I said something. It was a definite threat.
Right.
But then she was the overall manager, but there was a immediate manager. And even though she was a manager, she was extremely supportive. Like she would bring me food to work all the time.
Right.
So she was very supportive. She pretty much let me do whatever. She'll just say, hey, this needs to get done. I said, oh, okay. She gave me a lot of autonomy. She knew who I was. Right. And even the one who was trying to jump in on me, like I said, we got into shouting matches twice. But then she had a weird thing because she was married and I could tell she was kind of the boss.
Right, she ran the home.
But but when she dealt with me, those 2 times afterwards, she got real cool. She would have my back like a champ.
Right.
She would have my back. As a man, unfortunately, you got to deal with women in those situations. You still let them know you're a man. You don't have any problem. Okay, she the manager, she has assignments. Okay, you can deal with it. But she's going to be respectful of you no matter what.
Right.
She's going to respect you. And that's why I let that woman know. I let her know. I was like, I don't give a shit. Because she was having her issue wasn't even anything I did. She coming in and everything.
She just tried to dominate.
She basically had family. She had family. You could tell when somebody come in, they started some shit with the first person they see.
Right.
I let her know I wasn't the one.
Yeah, you messing with the wrong one.
Yeah, and the man just got to stand up for who he is because that's just a job, period. I mean, even if it's other men, you do get some bullies on the job. You let them know, no, because same retail job later, I almost went to the jaw of a male manager. Some stuff, some bullshit. Because I was like, hold up, He had to walk away because he saw the look in my eyes when he was talking some stuff, but then he had to apologize to me the next day.
Right.
Because as a man, I don't care what you do, you still stand up for your dignity. You don't let anybody, male or female, disrespect your dignity. You there on a job. You don't have to like the person or anything, but all you have to do, you just doing the job. You're not gonna let anybody go extra with it unless you're not doing your job. If you're not doing your job and somebody jump on you, that's different.
Right.
But as a man, you just gonna do your job no matter what. And sometimes you get some people, they kind of overstep their bounds or feel like they got some power. It's like, not the extra stuff. Now you can say something to me when I don't do my job. That's fair. But if you want to step to me in a way that has nothing to do with the job, we're not playing that bullshit.
Right. We're not having that. Not today.
Yeah. As far as the woman, it is what it is. It's just like, okay, you got them. As long as they keep the shit business, that's all they have to do. It's business. Okay. Don't bring your personal things in there. Don't try to dominate. Don't try to be on that woman power shit. This is a business.
Keep it
because for every person that does that, you on top. If you look at the CEOs of most of these companies and who's really these companies, it's still a man's world.
Right.
Yes, you have some female CEOs. That's cool. Hey, yay for them. But if you look at most of these, what's really running this world is
big
still
corporations,
men. Men
right?
have to understand that. Yeah. Then the top people are still men. There's still a man on top.
Right.
In most of these cases, most politicians are still, even when you got places where women are the president or prime minister or whatever,
right.
Still mostly men. I think the only place that might have mostly women, I think, might be Rwanda, I think.
Right.
That's but in most places, it's still men. We still, on a daily basis, no matter how many women businesses there are or politicians, men are still running stuff. And we have to embrace that. That's why I've said several times, I say if the men who run stuff get tired of feminism, it'll disappear. Mm-hmm. It'll disappear. But then you got some men, they say, well, hold up. You actually have some men in power, they know if they stop, right? If they use the women, they'll use the women to keep down some competition.
Right.
And I said that to women. I said, if some men with big guns tell y'all to go make them a ham sandwich, y'all gonna do it. they got mad, but then some agreed with me. It's like,
Right.
And see, men gotta understand that because look, we're bigger, we're stronger.
Right.
We think more logical. Yes, you're gonna get tested by women constantly. Yes, you're gonna run into them, but you gotta say, look, no, this is who I am.
Right.
This is who I am. And it's tough. Let me just be real with you. It's tough because somebody's always gonna come for you.
Right.
And like I said earlier, I get more pushback from men than women.
That's funny.
I'm trying to help y'all.
Hold on, I just have one random question because I've been sitting here paying attention, listening attentively, what you've been saying. Mm-hmm. Biggest question for me is, what brought up the fire for you to be who you are, standing up for what you're doing? What motivated you?
It's just my childhood. I've talked before about dysfunctional childhood and actually getting removed from my mother's custody. And it was basically for neglect. So I had to think as an adult as a child. And my thing is, I want to see order. It's just something in me. I can't stand chaos. I was in it, so I can't stand it.
Right.
I want to see order. I want to see men stand up and bring order because that's what we do. And that's just the thing. That's just the thing. Even in places I've lived, there's been times I might have kept the peace on the street or something, because it was just like, no, this ain't happening. Like I remember when I was still married, we had this, we were in this house and there was some young man who was trying to he was like one of those door-to-door people. He was shaking almost like he was filling the doorknob or something. And I was told that, and I saw him when I came home from work. I saw the guy still on the street. A co-parent had told me, and I tracked him down and said, hey, don't come by this house again. And I actually saw him in the neighborhood again, but he gave my house a wide berth, And it's just my nature. That's why I'm just fired up about it, because I've seen too much of the negative side. Right. I've seen too many boys and girls messed up. Like one point, I don't talk about it as much, but I worked in the criminal justice system in the Washington, D.C. area. And there was one point, I was working for attorneys, and I had to deal with young men who were in the prison system, talked with them and everything. And a lot of them, a significant amount of them, did not have fathers. They didn't have that male guidance.
Right.
I remember one time I had a conversation with a true to the game thug. I mean, he was a thug. He was a straight thug. He wasn't a play thug either.
Right.
And I was just talking to him about relationships in general. And I wasn't yelling at him or something, but he was crying because he said nobody ever talked to him like that.
Wow.
I mean, I've seen too much. I've seen the chaos up personal. And I said, this would have been different if a man was here.
Definitely.
Now I've had, coming up, I still have my uncles and grandfathers and men in the neighborhood once I started living with my grandmother. But then there was that period that wasn't, they still at a distance. Yeah, they spent some time with me, but they weren't with me 24/7. That's why it's important for a man to be in the house. Like these women talking about, yeah, I can raise a baby by myself.
Right.
No, you can't. No, you can't. You gotta have, like say hypothetically the father died. You better find your brother, you better bring your brother in, you better bring some uncle, you better bring some type of man in to help. And I don't mean as a stepfather either. It could be like an uncle or a grandfather or something.
Right.
You make sure they spend time, because that's one thing I give my mother. It was just me, her, and my sister when we were in that environment, but I still had my uncle. I still had my grandfather.
Right. Nice.
So that's the thing. And even then, like I said, they weren't right there all the time. I had to go to another part of town to see them. But it's important. So, I mean, we seeing all this happen because one of the things too with me, because of how I carry myself, I've had occasions where somebody look at me to solve a problem. So I'm like, hold up, we need more men out here. It'd be another man looking at me to solve some problem. I'm like, hold up. We got this. We're the same.
We need to empower men out there. We need more empowerment for men.
Yeah, and we got to do it. Yeah, and yes, there's some pushback. Unfortunately, it could be some pushback from other men. I'm like, okay, fine. We got to bring out the warrior and just push through them.
Right. So, Ron, what final words would you have for our audience out there, for men who are looking to, find that motivation, find a way to channel their inner masculinity? And what advice would you have for young men out there like ourselves?
My advice would be this. First, know that you are important as a man. You're not less than a woman, Now, and when I say, like, men and women are equal, but not in a sense they do the same thing. We have our job. They have their job. So a better term would actually be complementary. Okay, they can do their thing. No matter what, a man got to do his thing. Our nature is to go out and conquer, to go out and expand our boundaries, expand our territory. There's no shame in that. To control our territory, to be the alpha. Y'all notice I don't use those terms alpha and beta much. The reason why is I feel like every single man is the alpha of his home. Every single man, his space. And I would tell the young men, it's like all men, really, even some older men. It's like, look, control your space first. Control your space. Control your life. And that's all you have to do. Just think about it. Don't do anything. Avoid doing stuff you don't want to do. Like if you want to do it, go for it. If it's something you don't want to do, think long and hard. Okay, think about, you got to be selfish. Think about, okay, if I do this or I help this person do this, how am I benefiting? If you don't get a benefit, just say, okay, I can't do that. Put yourself first as a man. Put your mission first. Our nature is to be busy. We can't sit around. I can't stand that. Men do not sit around. You got to figure out something to do. Even when you're relaxing, that's you just relaxing and resting from doing your mission. Once you get your rest on, then you move forward.
Right.
You move forward. You take a break, but you keep going. Don't look at another man as soft. Start with your environment. Like I said, I've been in neighborhoods and I've had to check young men or whoever and say, nah, this ain't happening around here.
Right.
And then other men would help out. That's why, one thing, in the States, at least, there used to be whole neighborhoods and the police weren't needed there. Any strangers or anybody came through it, they were checked. They had to have a pass to walk through. It's not like that anymore, Everybody's confused. You got many shadow men, they less than the Amazon women. But there's always been Amazon women throughout history, but they usually disappear because societies who saw and say, okay, this woman's gonna be a problem, let's put her out to the side.
Right.
But we can do it. It can do it. And I would just say for every man, think about what you want to do for your life. What you want to do, not what everybody else say you want to do. Not what some women tell you or even other men. Think about what your mission is. Your mission. What are you called to do? And then get on that mission. And then when you deal with a woman, make sure she fits in with your mission. Make sure she submits, is in submission to your mission. Because she got to respect that, because you won't be on your mission no matter what. That's your real relationship. That's your real marriage. That's the thing you're going to be no matter what. I don't care what happens, because marriages can dissolve peacefully or whatever. Relationships aren't, every relationship is not going to be long term. It's going to come to an end. But the thing that is with you is who you are, because you with yourself 24/7. And you have to be happy with who you are and what you do.
Right.
And you gotta be ruthless about it. Cold blood is like, nah, I ain't going off my mission no matter what. I don't care how fine that woman is. I don't care what everybody else says. This is what I'm going to do with my life. So I would just say, just go for it. Thinking those, as long as you think in those terms, just think in those terms, your actions will follow. So that's all I have.
Awesome.
So I want to thank y'all for bringing me on.
Thank you, Rom.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure. Rise. We will rise. And thank you, Rom. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. We truly appreciate spending the time with you to learn from you, to get some wise words, and helping the male gender out there to actually learn to develop and channel their inner masculinity. And help us, to essentially take our place and our position in this world as we're meant to be. And I wish you all the very best. How can people get a hold of you? What's the fastest way people can get to hear more about you? If you don't mind just giving us a few of your channels and platforms.
Well, the best one, check out my website, www.romwills.com. Definitely, if you check that out, that leads to all my other stuff. If you're on YouTube, just type in Rom Wills, you'll get a bunch of stuff. If you're on IG, just hit me up at Rom Wills, and it's just hit me up, check out what I have to say. I would just, and you can reach out to me. I'm, very accessible. Just reach out to me. I do consultations, but I don't advertise them as much. If people reach out to me, I'll say, okay, we can talk. Right. Or sometimes if you have a quick question or something, I'll just answer it right there for free.
That's awesome. Appreciate you, Rom. Thank you again for your time.
Much appreciated.
It's been an honor
to be on here. It's an honor to be on here with y'all.
Thank you again. And that's it for us here at the Dr. D Show. EK, any last words?
Don't stop learning.
Don't stop learning. And like I say, be kind to one another. Don't do what I'll do. And I'll catch you on the flip side.